Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Digging In podcast. We're your hosts, Katie Halligan,
Aashna Bhargava,
and Anna Polca.
Today we're going to be talking about the Tara Calico Case.
Here's some background info. Tara was a 19-year-old teenage girl who rode her bike on the New Mexico State Road 47 every day.
There had been previous incidences where a car would drive really close to her bike, and so her mom told her to carry mace, but she refused and still went on the bike ride daily.
She told her mom jokingly that day that if she was not home by 12 to come looking for her. On that day, September 20th, 1988, she never returned home.
The police sent out a search party for her. The only things that were found were pieces of Tara's cassette tape scattered along the side of the road. People did report a sighting of seeing a light blue truck following her, though.
Some witnesses even said the passenger was an 18-year-old son of an influential local law enforcement officer. The witness also stated seeing two young men trying to talk to her while grabbing at her. Then their truck hit her bike, causing her to fall to the ground, and from there they grabbed her.
The case went cold for a little while, but then resurfaced when a woman found the Polaroid picture. It was discovered in a convenience store parking lot in Port St. Joe, Florida, nearly 1,500 miles from where Tara had disappeared.
Tara was said to be the woman in the picture, but there was also a little boy in the picture with her. They had their mouths taped and their hands appeared to be tied behind their backs. They looked to be in the back of a truck.
The little boy found in the Polaroid picture was claimed to be Michael Hanley, who had been missing since April 1988. Unfortunately, 2 years later, they found his remains about 7 miles from where he vanished, the Zooey Mountains.
Then in 2013, a man named Henry Brown confessed to police on his deathbed that he knew who was responsible for Calico's kidnapping. Brown said that he was in the basement of a man named Lawrence Romero Jr. shortly after Calico's abduction. Lawrence is the son of Valencia County Sheriff. Brown spotted what seemed to be a young woman's body wrapped in a blue tarp and buried in a makeshift grave when he was there.
In his letter, he said that Lawrence Romero Jr., Dave Sevilla, and Leroy Chavez told Brown in his confession that they had hit Tara with a truck on an accident when she was riding her bike. After that, they drove her to a gravel pit and took advantage of her. Lawrence Romero Jr. allegedly stabbed Calico to death, as the other two reportedly pinned her down after she threatened to call the police.
But his father, county sheriff, destroyed the written confession to spare Lawrence.
Then 2 other Polaroid photographs that could have been of Tara Calico have surfaced over the years. One was a blurry photo of a girl's face with tape covering her mouth, found near a residential construction site in Montecito, California. Forensic evidence suggests it was taken sometime after May of 1989.
To this day, she is still classified as missing, but some police think that she might have ran away.
Now that we've gone through all the background information, we're just going to go through some, what we think of the case and some different points we want to reference. So something that I definitely have been questioning is why did she tell her mom if that she did not return to look for her? Did she know she was going to disappear? Did she want to? Did she want to run away with someone? We didn't mention this, but she did have a boyfriend at the time, and I just find it very suspicious that she would have said to her mom, "Oh, if I don't come home, come look for me," on the day she disappeared. It could be coincidence, but I don't think so. I feel like it's too good of timing. I feel like she either knew she was going to go missing or was running away with someone, potentially her boyfriend.
Yeah, and did she know the people who were in the truck who were said to be tailing her too?
Why was she so willing to ride her bike again after she almost got run over? Why did she feel so safe?
That's something I've also been thinking about a lot, is if I almost get run over on the highway, I would definitely not feel safe and definitely be hesitant to take that road again, or definitely carry some sort of weapon or just something to keep me safe. But she was so to her mom, no, I'm fine, not even letting her carry mace. So it's just really weird to me, and I agree, why was she felt like she was so safe?
Yeah, and her mom also used to ride the route with her, but recently stopped because her mom didn't feel safe.
Yeah, and the mom even tried to convince Tara to hey, you should probably take a different route. And Tara was no, it's fine, I'm safe. But why would she, like, just like you said, why would she still take it when she almost got, like, attacked?
Yeah, something I also find interesting is that, as you've mentioned, she takes the route every single day. So, and it's on a busy road. So I don't think it would be very hard for someone to like see her going that route every day. Like I don't feel like that is something that's like totally like wild. Like seeing her go every single solitary day, like they would know her route, where she goes. Like it'd be really easy to follow her.
Yeah, I do feel like the people who supposedly hit her definitely have like had seen her take the route every day and knew where she went and where she was from.
I agree because I think it's too coincidental that a truck almost hit her once, and then the truck that the witness, and then it was a truck that the person witnessed that day. Like I just feel like that's too coincidental. Like there's just so many coincidences, and I just don't feel like it really is like coincidence.
And also the fact that one of the witnesses said the person that might have hit her was the son of the police officer, and still nothing has been found. That's a bit weird.
One of the police officers on the case was involved. They destroyed important evidence or ignored important evidence that was given by the public.
Yeah, I think it's very suspicious and really unprofessional of that police station to allow someone that was so closely tied to the case still do that, because Lawrence's dad, who he can like was a very main suspect, still be on the case. Like of course, like if your son does something, you're gonna want to protect them, and like still to keep him on the case, I just feel like is totally out of line and just like not professional. And I feel like that definitely really had a big part on why Tara's case is still unsolved to this day.
Yeah, it was definitely a big conflict of interest in the case.
Yeah, and definitely because they had a confession from someone on their deathbed. Like they didn't have anything left to lose, so why would you lie? Why would you create such a big lie if you didn't have anything left to lose? And like and because like nothing was really followed up on that with such a big piece of evidence, I feel like he really had something to do with that.
I would just like to know, like, why was he holding this information all the way till his deathbed? Like, was he maybe involved in the case too?
Or were the people that involved threatening him and tell him that they would kill him if he said anything, so that's why he waited on his deathbed? Like what were the circumstances that made him wait that long until he literally was gonna die and had nothing left to lose?
He probably didn't want to like be caught and convicted of like doing that crime, because he probably like felt bad enough. But also, if he would have come out and said it sooner, then they maybe could have
Followed a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it may also point to, if he wasn't actually involved or just knew the people that were doing it, like how dangerous these people were that may have had something to do with Tara's disappearance. But then we also had to think of it from the perspective is, like, why would he lie? Like, because there has been like people like questioning like, well, if it was never like circled back on, like it may have just been like a lie or something like that. But why would you lie about something like that, especially when you're about to die? Like I feel like it's something that you wouldn't really do.
Yeah, he was definitely involved. Okay, so back to the Polaroid picture that was found in the parking lot. I feel like that was a very interesting piece of evidence to be like left behind. I don't know, but like it was found in Florida and she went missing in New Mexico. So does that mean that like somebody who took her had the picture and then took her all the way down to Florida?
And it's kind of crazy how, like, 2 Polaroid photos were also found. Like, how many more are out there? Like, do you think they were planted for a reason?
Yeah, and were the Polaroid pictures like the pieces of evidence or like a little like trail they were leaving behind to like get people to come find them?
Yeah, also something that was really like interesting to me is that Tara's mom was so convinced that it was Tara. Like she had no doubt it was her, because we didn't mention this before, but there was a book next to Tara's body. She was alive, not like her dead body, but like next to her. And it was her favorite book by her favorite author. And so she was so certain that it was her. So I feel like to get that sort of information out of someone, I feel like it would have been someone that Tara trusted and was maybe friends with or knew previously, because how would you get that information? Like if you're taken captive, I don't feel like you're going to talk to your captor about like your favorite book and your favorite author and stuff like that. So I honestly feel like it could definitely be maybe friends of the boyfriend or like work colleagues or someone she knew, but like didn't really like her mom didn't know them. So, because I feel like that's like personal information. So I'm pretty sure that the girl in the picture was Tara, especially because her mom was so certain.
And how would you get the book too? If you were taken on your bike, you probably wouldn't have your book with you, and then it probably still would not be with you once you're in the van. So I think it's interesting that she had a book. Like, did the people give it to her? Kind of along the lines of she probably knew them.
I think it was also interesting that we mentioned that the boy that was next to her, Michael, they were pretty sure it was Michael as well, was found back where he was disappeared from. So the thing is that I feel like I feel like there's two possibilities. Either it wasn't Michael in the first place, or the captors just like dropped his body back there to like avoid suspicion and get suspicion off the Polaroid, because they didn't realize like how close they realized that police were getting close to like figuring it out and stuff. And back to the point Anna said, like all the way from New Mexico to Florida is not a short drive, so maybe they did bring Tara there. Like it's just like so hard to tell like where her body could be or if she like still alive or anything, because they covered so much ground, so they could be literally anywhere.
It had also said that the UK looked into the Polaroid picture too, and they confirmed that it was Tara. But the US FBI said that it was not her. So I think it's interesting that there were two different opinions.
Definitely. And circling back to like when the whole accident happened, witnesses said that they saw like the truck hit her and like people grab her. So then why didn't anyone do anything about it? Like they didn't. They just kept on driving and not help Tara.
Yeah, like I feel like the circumstances are really weird. Like if you see someone get hit by a car and taken, like of course your first instinct is gonna call for help, whether that's call 911 or like whatever. Just like you're gonna like try and get help. So again, like I feel like it definitely has something to do with the police. I definitely feel like there was an inside man, or it was someone that I don't know, like Tara knew within the police force, but just to have all this like valuable information and literally have no like leads or anything and have the case go so cold is just really weird. Like having the Polaroids, having eyewitnesses, having the confession, like having the Walkman and the tire like on the side of the road, like get fingerprints, like forensic evidence. Like I feel like there's so much that could have been like done and it wasn't, and I don't feel like that's a coincidence.
Yeah, it definitely had something to do with the police, because if you have all this evidence and like information, you can at least do something with it. Whether she's gone or not, you can at least still get a lead and like figure out maybe who did it.
Tara's mom also said that like Tara would never do something like this, like probably disappear on her own. But I mean, it's definitely a possibility too, because just like we said about the book, what kind of captor would actually give the person that they kidnapped a book that they like?
Also, going back to a point we mentioned earlier again, like that she said, oh, if I go missing, like if I'm not home by this time, like come look for me. Like, and if Tara wasn't the type of person to like make those jokes or like disappear or like be a rebel or anything like that, like why out of the blue would she make a joke like that? Definitely like another piece of evidence pointing towards she knew her captor, because she knew this was going to happen, because maybe she wanted to run away, maybe whatever. I think something that's very possible is that she was having a secret relationship. Like we said, she did have a boyfriend at the time, but like maybe she had a secret relationship and she wanted to run away with them, and so they made this whole like scene where they knew, I don't know, like people would see it or something like that, and they had someone in the police like destroy the evidence because like she wasn't actually getting kidnapped, she was like running away. I know that's like really far-fetched, but like I feel like it could definitely be a possibility, because there are definitely some like wild things that go on with this case, and I just feel like nothing's too crazy with crime cases.
So the case did go cold for a while, but now, like, this was a couple years ago, the police did find a lead, but they're not saying much on it, but they're saying that the case is advancing, so we're not sure what has happened, but...
Her mom also created like a website and is like trying to get like news people to pick it up. It's just like trying to keep Tara's case alive and still requesting for any information, because like they still want to solve this case, especially with like all the evidence that's involved that they haven't gotten like any answers to, and especially because technology has advanced, they could do like forensic evidence on things that they've kept and stuff like that. So Tara's mom is really, really trying to like keep this case open.
I wonder too, if one of the people who was already involved with the case died, how old are they now? Like, are some of them dead, or are some of them still alive? Because I feel like if the majority of them are dead, then there really is like no point in opening back up the case.
Yeah, it's definitely sad to think about that, because we really do, like, of course you want to find justice for anyone, but I also find it really interesting that her mom has like not given up the search. Like, of course you don't want to, but I feel like there comes a point where in a lot of these cold cases where like people like try and find closure, like they try and just like move on. So I find it really interesting that her mom hasn't, because like why is she so certain that Tara is still out there, and like 20 some years later, like 40 years later, she's still looking for her and still trying to get their word around. Like, I feel like it really shows that her mom is like really certain that Tara is still out there.
With the technology that we have today, the FBI has also like released a photo of what Tara would look like today, like age appropriately, if she was like still alive, to help people in case.
Yeah, so it's definitely clear to see that many people still think Tara is out there and still alive. So, yeah. Thank you for digging in with us on the Tara Calico case. Stay tuned for our next episode talking about the girl who started the famous Amber Alert, Amber Hagerman. I'm Katie Halligan.
I'm Aashna Bhargava.
I'm Anna Polca.
And we'll see you next time on the Digging In podcast.